Hi everyone, thanks for joining. We'll just give it a minute or two whilst all the participants get on the Zoom here, and then we'll start today's webinar. Okay, I think we'll make a start. People can keep joining as necessary. But thank you everybody for joining today for this webinar hosted by Oaky and Mews, and also featuring our friends at Hotel Rival. And we're going to be talking about how to turn hesitant front desk agents into upsell superheroes. Small bit of housekeeping as we get started. We have got a Slido link for this session. So if you would like to ask any questions throughout, there is a Q&A option where you can post any questions that you might have throughout the session. And we're also going to do a couple of short polls. So if you would like to participate in those, it's exactly the same link, and we will let you know when the polls are starting. So joining us today on the webinar, we have, as mentioned, Jesper's joining us from Hotel Rival, who'll be talking to us about some of the successes they've had with using both Oaky and Mews. And our main speakers today are Clément from Oaky and Aldair from Mews, who will be able to tell you all the details about both of those solutions and how we work together to support customers like Hotel Rival to achieve the successes that they do. So now I'm going to hand over to Clément and Aldair to talk through how Mews and Oaky work together.
Thank you so much, Liz. And hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I was on holidays for a couple of weeks, but lovely to meet all of you. And thank you so much for taking some time to discuss front desk upselling and the beauty and power of it. Thanks to Mews and Oaky. So we just decided to kind of stand still quickly on where did the partnership begin and how is this relationship happening? And well, Mews and Oaky, that's a long-lasting love story. We connect well because we connect well as people. That was the very, very first two-way integration of Oaky with a PMS back in 2017, in August to be exact. And still today, this is the record standing of the fastest integration ever a hotel has taken to go live, 4 minutes and 2 seconds after the integration was live. So we're very, very proud to be working with the Mews team, and naturally in early 2023, at the beginning of this year, when Oaky started researching for a new module, which is actually bringing the automated upselling to front desk rather than just pre-stay, Mews was naturally the very first partner that we reached out to, and they jumped on board straight away with the innovation. So it's very, very humbling to be working with such a great team. And today we work with a little bit more than 250 hotels together that are enabled and live on this integration. And as you can see, one customer has seen more than a 10% increase in upsells. I think more on that is coming later when we chat with Jesper.
So as Clément mentioned, Mews and Oaky have been working really closely together for quite a long time. And the reason for that is that we see a huge amount of benefits for you as our mutual clients. And we've been working progressively to really improve that connection. At its core, at Mews, we believe in what we call user disengagement when it comes to developing software, which is almost the opposite of what typical software platforms like social media platforms use, right? So if you look at examples like YouTube or Instagram, their focus is to make sure that you are spending as much time on their applications as possible. Whereas in the world of hospitality, it's all about people. We believe that we should be giving you time to spend with your guests and not stare at your screen. So when we were taking the next step with Oaky, we really wanted to look at how can we help Oaky make that upselling and full front desk experience as smooth as possible so that it feels more like a conversation and it's like a task and a chore that somebody's staring at a screen.
And when it comes to upselling, very often the link is made with revenue, right? Top line. But at Oaky, we want to move that conversation down to the profitability of upsell. We're talking about increasing the value of every guest that is staying with you. And with that, making sure that we're not only looking at room revenue, but actual total revenue per available room. What we're seeing is a great contribution and TrefBar impact on average of about 2.2% increase. And what's amazing is to bring that revenue diversification, not just from the pre-stay and automated upselling, but now really empowering the front desk teams to be a clear player into this. And the third point, I think, animates both Mews and Oaky very, very much, and it's about making hospitality great or great again. We really see that our role, our mission as software and technology providers for the hospitality is, again, to put people back in the center and make sure that not only guest experience is amazing, but also staff experience is amazing. I think we're really evolving in a world where hospitality is not per se the most attractive industry ever to recruit new talent, and it's really our mission. And I take this very, very dearly as an ex-hotello myself, to make sure that in 2023 and further, no front desk employee has to copy and paste, has to open many different systems, and has to juggle with administration while keeping a smile and making sure that they have a genuine connection with their guests right in front of them. I've worked too many hours in front desk to not allow that anymore when technology allows it. And because one picture, one image says 1,000 words, well, we thought, let's just make a video out of it. And what you're seeing here is basically the integration of Oaky and Mews in front desk upselling in action. Some people call it magic. What you're seeing here is basically the employee, the front desk agent journey. So from Mews, I'm able to directly open the arrival of my choice. Again, then with just one click, get redirected into the different recommendations and options that Oaky offers for that guest in particular. Remember, that guest is standing in front of me. I'm able to flick through the different options, recommendations. I see the correct pricing. I see the correct availability. And when I confirm this as a front desk agent, the commission that I just earned as an incentive is being tracked. So my manager is able to know how much did I make. This is also possible to do with a great two-way integration with the PMS, meaning that as soon as new items were added into the bill, we have straight away an updated guest profile inside of Mews. So we now flick back into Mews, and I'm able to very, very quickly and very easily finish my check-in as the front desk agent. As you can see, the room has jumped now, room category, and everything has been added as proper items and orders. I can now click on check-in and make sure that within only a few clicks, my guest has an upgraded stay. All of that is great in theory, and you've just seen a very quick demo, but I think the best of this is really to make sure that we actually give the mic to someone in a hotelier, obviously using this integration. And actually, before we do that, we have a few questions.
Okay, just whilst we swap over to the slider screen, if you could scan the QR code that you see over here on the right with your phone, or head over to Slido and use the code superheroes, we can get started with a very quick poll for you where we have a couple of questions. Okay, so the first question we'd like to know, who on the call has been a front desk agent before? There you can see those numbers shifting around a bit. Okay, that's a huge amount of people. Actually, the number is growing and changing, but I'll wait for a few more upvotes to go in there. Once again, whilst there's still a few more votes going, you can either scan the QR code with your phone, and once that option opens in a URL, you can actually start to answer the poll there. Or if you're on your computer, if you head over to slide.do and enter the code superheroes, then you can join the poll as well.
Looks like we have a room of hotels as well.
Awesome. Then you definitely have had the experience of most likely upselling then. So quite a few front desk upsell agents here. And I guess we can move on to our next question, which is, how many of you have been nervous about upselling during the check-in process? Speaking to people is always incredibly difficult. And then especially speaking to someone who's just arrived after a very long trip and really just wants to get in the room, I imagine we've all been a little bit nervous about the upselling process as well. It looks like the vast majority, about 57%. We've got quite a few confident people here, got 43%. But again, speak from my experience, I remember the first days when I was trying to upsell working in front desk, I was very nervous. I was not as confident as some. Okay, and then we have one more question. So what is the main reason for you avoiding an upsell offer? If you think back to the last upsell you did, or even the first one, right? So was there not enough time for you? Were you a little bit nervous? Did you feel that the entire process was just too complicated to manage? Or was it there just the case that you didn't quite have enough incentive to be doing these upsells? Or was there really just no culture for upsell opportunity at all at the properties you work at? And it's actually incredible to see that, yeah, there's, for a lot of people, the process is just too complicated to be able to manage. I can imagine when there's large groups in front of you, or rather call back to large groups, it's a lot of steps and it really puts you off.
If I can just shine in on this, when we launched and created this new front desk upselling module, we ran a survey of front desk agents, and on average, and that's really across the different PMSs and systems that are being used, on average, it takes a front desk agent 17 clicks, 17 clicks, in order to upgrade and process an upsell in the PMS, right? So imagine you have this guest standing in front of you, and it's maybe your third or fourth week, and you have to keep smiling and, you know, keep looking interested in the answer that the guest just told you about. Did they find the room easily? You actually just did an upsell, but at the same time, actually process these 17 clicks. So the process was complicated and maybe not enough time. Probably these two things definitely get reflected. Very interesting.
Okay, thank you very much for all those that responded. The poll will stay open for a while whilst we proceed with the remainder of the webinar.
So, hi everyone. My name is Jesper. I'm at Hotel Rival, and I've been here for almost 19 years. We opened in 2003, and I've been here since 2004. So quite a long time. I did start at the front desk as well as 70% of you guys. And we've been using Oaky since 2017. First off with a different PMS, but when we switched to Mews, we of course brought Oaky along with us. And we started using this front desk upsell feature in June, first week of June. So we had 3 full months of working with Oaky front desk upsell. Now, Hotel Rival, yeah, sorry. Thank you.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for being there, Jesper. I think it's very, very good to hear also from a user, and it's not that long ago that you started, so it's already we feel really honored that you're taking some time straight away after only 3 months of using Oaky and Mews together.
Yeah, no, we've seen some fantastic results in our first full 3 months, and always been super happy with Oaky, but you kind of beat your own record a bit here in the last couple of months. You've been upgraded to even more fantastic supplier to us. So we're super happy. We've had a good couple of months for upselling. Summer months are usually a bit better than most other months, and in July we had some extra room to spare as well. So it's been really good. We've seen some fantastic figures, and all in all, for these first 3 months, we are up 447% compared to last year, which to us is an amazing figure, and we're really happy about that.
Amazing. So I imagine if you have a comparison, I mean, first of all, I think these numbers, wow, that's really, really great. And a lot of it goes to your team, obviously, because they are the ones at the front desk that are actually upselling guest in and guest out. Imagine if you have a comparison of 447%, right? Increase, that means that you're already doing upselling at the front desk, right? Before this module was installed. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. We did upsell with your pre-stay letters, and then we did some at the front desk as well. Now we also kind of prided ourselves in being good at front desk upsell and taking the time with our guests to get friendly with them and see what their needs are. And but apparently we weren't as good as we thought. When we got the tool to make it easy for the front desk agents and gave them the incentive to really use the tool, we've seen, as you can see, quite the big increase. So yeah, more can be done with a great tool like yours. And we've also pushed a bit from the back office. A bit of friendly competition, sending out emails to the front desk saying, who's on top of the top 5 list, and don't you want to beat your colleagues and stuff like that. So kind of edging them on to sell more. And most of them, I wouldn't say all of them, but most of them have really taking a liking to that friendly competition. And some others we do need to work in a different way because they're not in particular competitive people. But we do try and push for what I consider to be one of the biggest reasons to why everyone should do this is that in our experience, at least, we've seen that guests who stay in higher room categories are more satisfied guests. And that could be, for many front desk agents, a motivation on its own. That they...
So wait, let me unpack this just for a second. What you're saying is that the main reason why you're doing upselling at front desk is not necessarily for revenue, but actually to make guest stays better?
Well, in my opinion, is that it's all a part of the big wheel, basically. If we get guests that are more satisfied, they give better reviews, you get a better reputation, you can increase your rates, you can charge higher. So it all comes back, for me, being a revenue manager, it's all about the money. So in the end, it ends up there, but I do think that, and I know that our owner in particular has more concerns with people being really happy when they stay. And if I can do both, then that's, for me, fantastic. And so yeah, happier guests are more willing to spend.
So it almost sounds like the first objective is really that guest satisfaction. And then as almost a byproduct, you see an increase of revenue, both done, of course, with the actual upsell that's, you know, creating incremental revenue, as well as secondary way of increasing rates because you see higher review scores. I know that we mentioned you know, staff satisfaction and then staff experience a couple of times. Have you noticed, and obviously this integration has been created to make the life of front desk agents easier. What's the feedback of the team at Hotel Rival?
The feedback has been really good. They all think it's easy to use, and I did check out our stats yesterday, and I think it's only one of our front desk agents who is someone that works, you know, every other weekend, is the only one that hasn't made an upsell through your system, with the exception of our night staff. So all our day staff has done somewhat an upsell. Some of them have done a lot, and some has done a little, but everyone has tried it out, and no one has came back to say it's too complicated. That's they would be lying. It's super simple. It really is, and it's not like our staff is tech savvy in any way. I'd say we have an older staff than most in general. Not to be age discriminating, but young people are more eager to click on things, so to speak, than older staff. So, but everyone's really gotten accustomed to it quick and easily. I mean, we had the first weekend, I would say, I think we launched on a Thursday or something like that. And the first weekend there was some confusion. We sorted that out on the Monday, and then it's been off the charts since. So
and with great incentives as well, right? I think this is one word that you've used.
Exactly, we do give our staff an incentive to use it as well. So it is a way for them to have an impact on their salary, which is of course in the end what their motivation is. For a lot of them, I would say it's super that they can do this and earn a bit of extra money. And I think the figures speak for themselves. That when you get an incentive like that, it shows off. Yeah.
And we were talking about making, you know, hospitality great again or attractive again, and obviously the position of being front desk agent is a hard one, right? We see a lot of turnover. It's quite difficult to fill as well. Are you seeing any consequences of implementing such a program for the attractiveness of Hotel Rival specifically?
Yeah, I mean, we've been using it also as a perk for when we hire new staff. This is something that we bring up also, that this is your salary and this is what you can do, and then of course we have some great numbers to show what people actually are earning extra every month. So it's I think it's a good way to go, and it's a perk for working at Rival, at least. It's one of the things that we need, because it's tough getting proper good staff in at least in Stockholm. But I do think that's a general problem all over.
And I imagine recruiting and keeping good staff, right? Because it's not just about attracting them, but
and then keeping them, and I think this is a perfect way to go about it. So all in all, I mean, happier staff also makes it easier to have happier guests, so which leads to revenue, and that gives happier management. So I think it's a win-win everywhere, if you ask me.
And that wheel just closed off itself. That's
exactly.
Very nice. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience. We know how busy you are. It was just a holiday season and probably coming back to a lot of ongoing projects. So I want to really thank you so much on behalf of both Mews and Oaky for taking the time, and also for always being open to, you know, testing and trialing some of the new and shiny new products that we have. I imagine this is also then making kind of Hotel Rival a differentiator in your market, because until now you've been one of the really early adopters of this new feature.
Yeah, no, it's been good, and I mean, even though it's a new product for you, I wouldn't say I was surprised, but it's good when you try out something that's new that not many people have, and you see it working from day one. That it's not a beta product that has faults and stuff like that all over the place. It's been working really well. So I'm so happy to be on board.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And for everything going smoothly, it's Aldair to thank, because he's been really stellar, and his team, of course, at doing this.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, having the integration so deep into Mews is I think that's essential to you don't want to ship out the new product for the front desk to have yet another window in their Chrome, you know, to find. So it's good that it is so deeply integrated in Mews, and that's fantastic.
Well, that's so great to hear, Jesper. We really work very hard with Clément and his team to make sure that your front office staff don't have to spend time opening a new tab and signing into a new system. I think, as Clément showed there, all it takes is a click, and those exact members of staff that are doing the upsell are automatically signed in, and everything's transferred immediately through the PMS. So there's no extra thought behind it at all. And it's great to hear that it's working well for you.
Yes, really. Thank you so much.
Great. I think we can open the floor for any questions. We have a couple of minutes left, and we are directing you back to a system you've known and loved, Slido. So feel free to ask any questions in there. Can you use this easily for room service items? So my take on this is room service is probably in-room dining. That's also being called room service quite often. The answer is yes and no. The main point of this feature is to be used at the front desk, right? So really at the moment of the guest check-in. We also have the possibility to keep this this feature available throughout the stay. So it's still accessible for the front desk agent via the Mews profile. So that means that it potentially could be used in stay as well. The main focus of it is really on that on arrival upsell, specifically for room upgrades. Any other service that you want to promote is of course available to be put on there. The main point of this is that there is a recommendation engine behind it that also curates the right offer for the right guest, right? So the staff is not, the front desk agent is not completely overwhelmed with the amount and the catalog of offers, but we already do that segmentation work for them. So it can work. The main point is easily, it probably is not the completely designed for this, as it is really for the on arrival. How long does it take for the onboarding of the product at the hotel? Great question. I can make an answer, but I think it's probably much better to let Jesper speak out of his experience.
I mean, I think I spent a couple of hours putting up the products and making sure that the translations were all right and stuff like that. But it's no more than putting up a few items. If you worked in Oaky, you know how quick and easy that is, and it's depending on how you want to describe it, and pictures and stuff like that. But it's it was really simple. I think we went from I think we contacted you, and then we did it a week or two later, and I didn't spend more than a couple of hours adding the services, so there was no more than that.
And I remember there was time pressure, right? Because you wanted to do this before the summer period.
Yeah, exactly. Now we wanted to do it before most of them went on vacation, and we knew that we had a bit lower occupancy in June, and kind of wanted to push it out for the summer guests that are eager to upgrade and stuff like that. So yeah, we kind of rushed it, but it worked out. So yeah, it was super easy.
Nice. I think that the next question is for you as well. Thank you for sharing your experience. Do you also make use of a Mews kiosk, so self-check-in for the guest? And if so, what is your experience to this, and how does that combine?
No, we don't. We do all our check-ins at the front desk with the front desk agent. So yeah, I wouldn't have any experience with that.
What we usually say to this as well for hotels that are using kiosks is that the Front Desk Upselling module of Oaky is designed to support humans. So for now, we are on really that Front Desk agent piece, and we're in extended discussions with Mews as well to see if this can be implemented in a kiosk as well. How do you upgrade a Booking.com reservations, and how this update changes the availability in Booking.com? I love this question, so if you allow me, I will take this. It's extremely easy to upgrade a Booking.com reservation, both pre-stay and on arrival. You still are allowed to reach out to the guest. The only thing is that you don't have their actual email address. You have an encrypted email address that is usually 12345@guest.booking.com, meaning that that's the power of the deep integrations between Oaky and Mews. The changes will actually be made directly in Mews. So that reservation will change room type. We will add a product or add a charge onto the guest folio inside of Mews. And if you're connected with Booking.com directly via a channel manager or direct connect, then the availability in Mews will change, meaning that that availability will also be changed in Booking.com. The great thing about this is that you're not paying any commission to Booking.com on the upgrade, right? This is a direct transaction that happened between the guest and the hotel, so no commission is taken by Booking.com. Our reception sells items like toothpaste, water. Can this be used for this? Absolutely. That's a great thing about Oaky. We're a platform, meaning that you can use it for whatever need you have. We have hostels that are looking to use Oaky and that will be selling safe or towels, renting towels. So yes, absolutely used for this. And you're able to just set this up in just a few clicks using the deal library of Oaky. Would you rather upsell upfront so that the guest hasn't arrived to front desk yet, or at the front desk, and why? Jesper, if you allow me, I would love to give my take, and then maybe you have another perspective on this, but I would say both. There is never too many times to upsell a guest as long as it's subtle and personalized. And actually, you can even use the fact that this guest has been interested in potentially a room upgrade, but not converted, because that's data that Oaky sees. And actually, that will be part of that recommendation. We see that that guest has opened that email, pre-arrival email. They've opened that offer maybe 2-3 times, but haven't clicked on upgrade my room. That will be one of the rooms that will be shown to the front desk agent to make sure that we actually seal the deal at the second moment.
Yeah, I have no preference as well. I mean, both is fantastic, and I don't think that any the time span from when you make your reservation to when you arrive at the hotel shouldn't be a factor in when to make an upsell or not. We've had guests that made their reservation a couple of hours before, and they arrive and they buy an upgrade instead. And we've had guests who has booked 2 years ago and didn't buy the upgrade. So it's no, every chance is a chance to do an upgrade. I don't see any perk with doing it prior to arrival, nor to do it at the front desk, really.
Would you rather, sorry, once a guest has checked in and you want to sell them items like towels or snack items the reception sells, can you email the guest to promote the services? With Oaky, you can. We have a third module, so pre-stay, on arrival, front desk, and in-stay. So you're able to promote your services via either an email, or you also have QR codes that you can leave either around the hotels or in the room, even send SMS or WhatsApp messages if you want. But you can also make use of that Front Desk Upsell module, because that stays available throughout the stay. So if the reception is actually selling these items and the guest comes to the reception and asks for towels or snack, then I said it's just one click and all of that gets processed straight away into Mews. What about upselling additional products on arrival? Say a guest has a stay without breakfast, but I want to sell him a breakfast. Definitely. So that falls under the category of anything is possible. As long as there is a product of it in Mews, we can map it with Oaky, and Oaky will recognize if this breakfast was already included in the stay or not, and only show it, of course, if the guest hasn't booked breakfast yet. One click, and this is directly added into the guest folio. Hey, we're using Oaky currently. Hey, Stan, but the version I saw on the video with the room upgrade system is new for me. How can we use that system in our hotel? Great question. You can simply reach out to your Oaky contact person and we'll get you set up. This is a new module that we launched in April at Mews Unfold. So if you haven't had it just yet, then let's get you set up with it. Can you show again how these additional items, not upgrades, work in Mews? So for the ones who stay over, and I know we're a bit of time already over, I actually have a demo environment open on my computer so that we can go through this. And if you want to go a little more technical, I cannot screen share while the other participant is sharing. So Liz, I'll just, yes, perfect. And what I'll do now is take you to a very familiar screen for probably most of you, and that's Mews. So I am Clément, I'm a receptionist, I'm a front desk agent at a beautiful 5-star property, Goldfish Hotel. And as you can see here, I have a couple of arrivals today. I'm going to be into my timeline. And as you can see, we have quite a lot of arrivals today, and they're all booked onto my standard room. So far, nobody has booked a superior room. So let's go to Mrs. Espley, and let's imagine that Mrs. Espley is standing right in front of me, right? So on here, I have directly the guest profile, and this part is new for most of you, because if you don't have the Front Desk Upsell module of Oaky, this button won't show. If I click here, as a front desk agent, I'm being redirected into where the magic happens, and that is really where Oaky recommends the different items for that specific guest, right? So we see here that that guest is staying in the standard room. We can even see which channel did they book in, and on the left I have all of my room upgrade recommendations, and on the right Oaky has made 4 services recommendation depending on what the guest has booked already. So breakfast, for example, has been detected as not yet booked by this guest. And as a front desk agent, after I, of course, confirmed with the guest that this is something they want, I pick myself to make sure that in this case, I will earn an incentive of points. Oaky also works with points or with actual cash. I'm an upsell hero, amazing. And what this means when I go back into Mews and reopen straight away my reservation, one new product has been added for the correct price. This was simple, right? Because breakfast is a product that has a set price, and in this case has been done for just one night. But obviously, when you set this up correctly, it will have pricing per person per night throughout the stay, if this is how you choose it. But the great thing also happens whenever you have an actual room upgrade. In this case, my manager has allowed me to make some negotiation at the front desk while the guest is standing in front of me. And Mrs. Estley has agreed to upgrade her room from a standard to superior room for 48 euros per night. When I hit confirm, and just for the sake of showcase this, woohoo! I just earned 10 euros extra, nice incentive. And if I go back, and when I go back to Mews, I will see that that reservation just jumped in order to be assigned in the superior room. And the same thing happened here. We now have two products, the room upgrade for the correct price that has been already applied, and we have straight away the breakfast right here. That's the moment that I can continue with check-in and actually click on check-in right here. And in 3 clicks, I have made a guest happy, and I've made my revenue manager happy, and I've just made myself happy as well with an extra incentive. All right, let's continue with the questions. Thanks, Clément, for the Booking.com explanation. The guest has a voucher from Booking.com, for example, a double room, and another from Mews Oaky. Is this a problem? What this means indeed is that the guest will have a confirmation email with a certain reservation and a certain room type from Booking.com. And the leading, especially on a payment level, the leading part is obviously in Mews, right? The PMS is the system that collects all payments. Oaky does not do anything with payments. We just push things through to Mews to make sure that all of the credit card is on file, as well as all of the payment method will be applied there directly. So it shouldn't be a problem. What this means is that the guest will have an upgraded room when they come in. It's basically the same thing as if the guest from Booking.com would pick up their phone and actually call you directly to ask for an upgrade, which probably doesn't happen that often.
And just to add on that, in Mews, all we'll do is we'll pull that additional data from Oaky. So your additional price will be posted on that guest bill. So it's super easy for them to be able to pay that additional item. And that additional price will be on top of the voucher price. So we just calculate that addition from there.
Let's go back to snack items. Can we see how you process snack items? The way I showed breakfast is exactly the same way than how snack items would be processed, except if Aldair, I'm missing something and there is a particular category inside of Mews for snack items. But basically, that would be another item that would be called snack in Oaky. When the front desk agent would click on this to push it to Mews, then that new product would be added inside of Mews with the right pricing.
Exactly that. The workflow works exactly the same as it does in Mews. All Oaky is doing is, as Clément said, pushing those product items, whether it's a bookable service product or additional service product, it's pushed directly into Mews and added onto your guest bill.
And final question. Thank you, Anna. Do you have to be with Oaky first or Mews first? Is there a preferred sign-up flow? Great question. And I'll be honest with you, most probably it will take you longer to set up Mews than to set up Oaky, because that's your PMS and that's just how it is. So our advice is most probably to start with the PMS. And once you are nice and set up, you come back and sign up with Oaky. However, if you're thinking to change PMS in more than 6 months, then come to us first. We'll make you money while you're setting up that new PMS. And that way you don't waste any moment to start upselling today. Great. I think we've exhausted all the questions, much more than I expected. So thank you so much to all of the attendees here. And yeah, I want to thank Jesper once again very much, as well as Liz and Aldair for this great webinar.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll be able to share the recording of this as well afterwards, should you want to refresh. And obviously, if you have any further questions, please send them our way. We can handle all those as well.
And once again, if you want to make use of this awesome integration, you can reach out to either your Mews contact person or your Oaky contact person, and we'll make sure to get you set up. Have a lovely day, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.